Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Nikke Goddess of Victory video. Another day, another drama somewhat with NIHILISTER. So if you guys are not aware, previously we talked about NIHILISTER, about her announcement being in a liberation system, locked away from gacha, so you will not be able to pull for her. You have to play through the campaign story, finish the last stage currently available to us, 20-31, to be able to access her. And even then, you have to have unlocked prior one more liberation unit, either Guilty, Sin or Quincy, before you'll have her as an option. Now, today, they basically announced her skills. They showcase what NIHILISTER was able to do. We're going to jump into analysis and talk about her kit specifically, but a lot of players were not happy with how she functions. Alright, you can see, for a Pilgrim locked behind months of grind, her numbers look so weak. Lemao! This has to be a joke. Guilty is a better burst 2 attack. Multiplier is too low. No full charge for Pierce. She's so awful, Lemao. This is terrible, OMG. Quando vai ter idiamo português? A lot of players were unhappy. Players upset. Again, round 2. So let's talk about NIHILISTER'S kit. Let's jump into it. Now, before we jump too much into the details, let's first have a look at how she operates. Let's watch this particular short little trailer right here.
There's nothing I despise more than Ford.
Good voice, very good voice. Wow. Look at the jiggle. Ooh, look at that. Bouncy, bouncy, jiggly, jiggly. How do you guys not like her? Come on, everybody loves her, right? Sniper rifle. Okay. Okay, not bad. 50,000 Pierce, and then there's an additional damage. Okay, so lots of things to take into consideration right there. It seems like she does multi-hit, so we're gonna have a look at her kit shortly. Okay, so that is good enough of a showcase. It does show you enough things for you to be able to judge how strong she is. So now let's jump into this particular kit and see what she's able to do compared to a lot of other characters. Now, first things first, very straightforward. She is going to be a sniper rifle, burst 2, fire type attacker. Alright, so she's an attacker, she's not a supporter, she's not a defender, she's going to be an attacker that's stuck on burst 2. So, will this justify using her over other burst 2? That's something that we have to try to analyze, right? If you look at what we have right now in the option, definitely there's a lot of characters that can fill in the burst 2. I'm going to talk about the meta in terms of the burst 2 overall, but let's look at what she has to offer. So first things first, passive skill, skill 1, burning shot. Now this is going to be her skill 1. You can see activates when attacking with full charge, affects self. So this means that if you attack with full charge, if you guys are not aware, sniper rifle and rocket launcher, every time you hit the enemy, there's that charge meter that you want to charge till full. So that's what you want to do. You want to ideally get to full charge so that you get this benefit from this skill, right? So gain pierce for 1 round. Alright, piercing radius 50% for 1 round. So activates when a normal attack hits 2 or more enemies concurrently. Affects all enemies hit, also deals 50.33% of attack as additional damage. Alright, so you can see a couple of things to take note of. She does additional damage on her basic skill. This is a passive skill. So as long as you reach full charge, she will be able to do this bonus additional damage. But the truth is, having full charge all the time means you lose DPS ideally compared to someone like a assault rifle or like a shotgun in general. Like those weapon just tends to do way more, right? So this is something that I'm curious to see, something that we'll have to find out later on. Keep in mind this is a skill level 10. Now for a skill level 10, modifier seems a little bit on the low side in my humble opinion, 50%, and this is like 50.33%, right? So that's, of course, it's quite hard to judge based on this. So skill 2, let's have a look. This is going to be the Megiddo Flame. So active, cooldown time is 10 seconds. For this particular skill, affects enemy units within attack range and deals 112.64% of attack as damage. Okay, so this is something that's activating every 10 seconds on its own. A very cool active skill. As long as you're able to hit the enemy, this will automatically activate. Pretty cool. Now let's jump into the burst skill, the most important one, Burning Scorch. Alright, so active, cooldown time 20 seconds. So thank God she's a 20 seconds burst, because so far, looking at her skills, I am quite not really that impressed. So affects enemies within the attack range. deals 158.59% of attack as damage. So there's this thing called burn, which I think could be unique to her. I'm pretty sure I don't remember seeing anyone else with this particular one, burn effect. So deals 13.19% of attack as sustained damage every 1 second for 10 seconds. So that is pretty cool. So this one is going to be an additional damage, sustained damage for 10 seconds. So that means you'll be able to deal burn of almost 130% overall. Alright, that's going to be like the total damage is going to be quite high. Affects self. Max ammunition capacity increased by 6 rounds for 15 seconds. Okay, so during the burst, she will be able to shoot more, give her more max ammo capacity. That means she doesn't have to reload as much. That's kind of cool. That means she will be able to do more DPS as well. Makes sense. You don't want her to be reloading while the burst is activating. Alright, first things first, you can look at the skill and you can see everything here only affects herself. There's no supportive skill right here that enables her to support someone else. So that's something to keep in mind, right? So she doesn't support anyone else in the team. She doesn't give buff to any other rocket launcher or sniper rifle or whatever. So everything just affects her only. So this is something that we have to consider per se, because right now, if you look at a lot of other Burst 2 characters, alright, so the meta right now is going to be a couple of, I think the main three is going to be Senti. So Senti does a lot. She gives shield. She's going to be able to provide you with a lot of sustainability in your battle. She's also 20 seconds burst 2. And then you also have someone like Dola, which I think a lot of players like to use. She's a buffer, she buffs the team, gives everyone bonus damage. Rupee is someone that's particularly meta as well for an attacker. Alright, if you're looking for a solid attacker, assault rifle, Rupee is the one to go for. Alright, so if you're looking for a burst 2 attacker, and I do think that she's probably the best one if you're looking for damage overall. And of course, Guilty as an option as well. You gotta obtain one of the liberation units, either Guilty or also Quincy. Quincy is also going to be quite solid. So there's quite a lot of burst 2 characters. Sacrificing them for Nihilister doesn't make that much sense in my humble opinion, since Nihilister doesn't give any buff. Looking at her kit so far, if you look right here again on this particular damage right here, observe this carefully when she shoots. Notice there's multiple damage instances. This is more than one instances. She's able to do multiple instances within a single shot. So I don't think her damage is going to be that bad. Alright, so you can see she does 2730, 2730, and then there's this 69,000, right? Pierce. So this 69,000 pierce times 2, it looks like. One more is covered behind the other number. So I believe this is going to be this particular skill of skill 1. Alright. So the pierce, because she does full charge, activates when the normal attack hits 2 or more enemies concurrently. And this can happen if they are both in the range. Okay, so I want you guys to observe this carefully. So notice if she shoot right here, she aims in this scope, and I think you gotta aim the scope when there's 2 enemies in the scope. I think what happened is she's able to fire this shot, boom, and you can see there's 2 sources of damage. So one is 25,000, one is 50,000, right? So I'm guessing it hits both enemies in this case. You can see there's both are pierced, and then the 2.4k, I assume that's like the burn or whatever, right? So I do think that she's able to hit multiple enemies within the same shot if that's the scope. But I'm not sure how it works. It looks like you have to like fire or aim manually in between. Make sure your scope is covering 2 enemies. If that's the case, maybe she's going to be a specific manual unit. She might do a lot of damage if you manual her, and if you auto, she might not do as much damage. So yeah, overall, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think Nihilister is worth replacing any of the other Burst 2 characters so far in the game? Or do you guys think the damage is going to be lacking and she will not be able to replace any other meta Burst 2 currently that we have? I would love to hear your thoughts as well. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, subscribe guys if you guys haven't already. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.